All right, everyone, welcome back to the coach's desk. Thank you very much for tuning in. And we are here again on another stream of people. And we have T with us from TXT Track Time. Of course, I'm telling you, yes, to go over there, subscribe, share the videos that she does, and also give the videos thumbs up. You know what I mean? Because that's how the algorithm goes in YouTube. You have to ensure that you do these things for the videos to go out there and be recommended. So, T, welcome again to the show. We'll be talking about the
Thank
Ackera
you for
Nugent.
having me.
Well, you're certainly welcome. We're talking about the Ackera Nugents of this world, the Broadbell, the Megan Tapper, the Kirka Hill. Uh, Essentially, the 100 meters for women and the 110-meter hurdles for men. And this is a massive showdown for Budapest glory. And we are going to kick it off. How do you think we should kick it off? The men or the women?
They're both hot. They're both hot. Honestly, I'd probably save the men for last though.
All right. So let's go. Let's jump right into it. All right, there we have it. We highlighted three ladies, the Megan Toppers of this world, the Akira Nugent, and the
Daniel Ants
beautiful
Williams.
Danielle
Yeah.
Ants Williams. You know what I mean? So, these ladies, they are coming to Jamaica for the SENA trials to do great things. What do you have to say about this, T?
You know what? This hurdles is shaping up to be much better than I thought it would have been earlier in the season. And I don't mean indoors. Indoors, it looked good to me, and I thought, yeah, Jamaica is coming. I'm expecting to see a lot of new faces, and also expecting to see, the Brittany Andersons, turn up and be much better than they were before. I remember, I think seeing a clip of Brittany, and I was thinking to myself, if this is how she looks indoors, and she was clearly working on her start. I was like, this was a good move for her. Move switching camps, it's working. Let's see what happens outdoors. But then we were struck with the untimely news that injury struck. She'll be out for the rest of the season. So, I was a bit down. Then everybody else was, coming on very, very slowly. And then now, as we're getting closer to trials, we see Danielle really sticking out her head, and saying, yes, I'm here. I'm just as strong as I was before, if not better. And I was thinking to myself, because I was thinking about Toby Amerson and saying she's timing her season just right for World Championship. So she has come up much slower than the likes of Jasmine Camacho Queen, but clearly you can see her as we're getting closer to World Championships. You see where she's now back on par with Jasmine, and maybe in another few races, who knows, she'll be able to clip her wings. Now I'm getting the same thought process as it relates to Daniel. Obviously, Daniel has to worry about her trials. Toby doesn't, Jasmine doesn't, but she has to worry about it. So she has to time her peak for trials. And I'm seeing here where she timed it perfectly. I was worried. I was wondering what was going on with her earlier in the season, but seems my worry was misplaced. She has definitely arrived, and she's here to, challenge for the top spot, not just a spot on the team per se, but the top spot heading into the World Championships. And I'm loving it. That last race that she had, the one in the positive win above the allowable, I just kept thinking to myself, wow, 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 wow. What am I going to see in a few more weeks when she starts to sharpen certain things? What am I going to see? What am I going to see? So I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited for what I see for Jamaica from a Daniel perspective. Then, of course, then there's Ackera Nugent. She's the big, big outbreak athlete this season. We were already looking at her from last season, the prospects, what was possible. Unfortunately, again, injury struck, took her out for everything post NCAA's. So she also made a switch, in the right direction. We Jamaicans, we were concerned last year with her, doing the 1-2 double, not 1-2, the 100 and the 100 meter hurdles double so much. We were showing concern, and I think she either came out and said no, she's fine. This was when she was at Baylor. No, she's fine. Everything is good. They're treating her well. And when I heard that, I just chalked it up as, what, you're at the school, you have a scholarship. You just have to work with the program kind of thing. That's what I chalked it up as. But when she made this switch and seeing, the focus on her and making sure that she's good, I'm like, this is what you needed. This is what, so I'm not saying, drop the 100, because I definitely believe the 100-meter speed is very, very good as it relates for the 100-meter hurdles. I've seen it, in the Tobies, they have 11 ones, PBs, So in order to break into that new realm that I keep, dreaming about, dipping below 12 seconds, hopefully in the future, near future, that is, we need the likes of Kerika Hill that are going to come with their amazing flat 100-meter speed and break into that new realm. And so is Ackera Nugent, also somebody that's at a 11:04, I think, right now, as it stands for a PB, very, very fast over the flat 100. And then when she transfers that to the hurdles, it's magnificent. She's technically really, really solid as well. I don't have any fault with what I'm seeing with Akira. To me, it's just okay. Long season. We understand the NCAA's. Please hold up, buddy. Please hold up. Please arrive in time for the World Championships and help her through that, because I can definitely see Jamaica challenging not only for one but for two medals at the World Championships. For now, when it comes to the third spot, Megan right now is sitting down as the third fastest Jamaican. But me not gonna tell you no lie. And I have to shout out to my sister here, because my sister always says never count out Megan Tapper. She always has some way of finding herself on that team to the World Championships. And by finding her way, and I mean like winning at the trials, which shocks many, including myself, most years when she's able to come out and win. And I'm like, gosh, never count out Megan for true. But even though my sister says never count her out, honestly, when it comes to that last spot, as long as Kerika Hill, has returned from whatever, was hampering her at the Racers Grand Prix, I have her taking that spot. That's pretty much what I'm seeing so far. If she doesn't, then sure, Megan for sure is getting that spot. But right now, I'm thinking Danielle, I'm thinking Akira. Okay, my 1, 2, 3 would be in this order: Akira, Danielle, and Kerika. That's my 1, 2, 3. It's gotta be sticky, but yeah, that's what I'm seeing.
All right. Very good coverage there of these athletes. I think you're spot on with them. I was looking at Daniel for the past few seasons. Daniel has been struggling, I believe, with injuries. I spoke to her coach last season, and he said she had a slow start and so forth because of her niggle. She didn't quite do what was expected because of that slow start. That's why I'm saying anytime an athlete is out because of injury in their background, it's gonna be difficult for them to really catch up. That proved with Daniel. But we have seen her slow start this season again, but apparently she has been running into form. I think she needed some races and she has gotten them, and she's actually running into form. So I like her chances in terms of making the team. But it's gonna be a tough one as usual. Megan Tapper, you really can't write her off. I agree with that. She has always have one in the chamber, and you know what I'm talking about. One always in that chamber, and she
Mm-hmm.
will find that one that will bullseye. So you really can't. She has switched camp. She's now training at Elite, and there seems to be a good vibe at Elite with even her training partner, Kerika Hill. Oh my word. We have not seen her since the Racers Grand Prix. She basically had a mishap in that race, which I think she was going to be doing well in that one. But it seems to be a foot problem. I'm not sure if it is a muscle problem. If it is a muscle problem, I hope she has gotten over it. But based on what I saw, I was there. It seems as if it was a foot problem. But I hope it is it. I am wrong.
Foot in the spikes.
Yeah.
Oh,
because when she took off the
oh,
spike, she was able to run. Sorry, she was able to
to
walk.
walk.
And I
Yeah.
zoomed in on her and I looked at her foot. She was kind of walking on the side of the foot
Right.
and not allowing some part of her foot to be touching the ground. Hence the reason
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying it seems as if it was a foot problem. But I hope that, I mean, it is not so. It is just something simple, and she would have gotten over it. We have not seen her since, and definitely where she might be race rusty now. But let us see where she comes out to this trial and put in a good performance. I basically like her chances as well. I mean, we can't overemphasize it, T, that this one is like the world championship final. And most times between Jamaica and US, their trials, especially on the hurdles side, because of how deep the hurdles event is, the quality athletes in the hurdles, you can have a quality feel at the US trials and you still have a quality feel at the Jamaica trials. So goes to show how deep the event is. When you look at Ackera Nugent has had her up and down in the sport since transitioning to Baylor. Um, she she basically she basically made that transition. I like the transition because, of course, everybody knows that Arkansas has always had a very good hurdles program. That's where we got Omar McLeod, of course,
Right. Mm-hmm.
and it was a good transition for her. Mentally, I see where she's more focused. Technically, that has been cleaned up. Speed, she has gotten faster, and I mean, I've heard the coach talking about her chances even in the 100 meters. I don't know if it is in reference to her running fast over the hurdles, but Ackera Nugent. Listen to me, man. That 12.25 all condition run was outstanding, especially when you look at her technique, her three leg coming over as quickly as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Her cadence, it was very, very, very good. I think she's one of our most technical runner. Um, it goes to show the depth of our hurdles event. Uh I think she sells favorite in my eyes. She sells favorite. Whoever
Mm-hmm.
comes in second and third, they'll have to fight tremendously for that one. Yeah. It's sad that Brittany Anderson is not there. I guess she would have given up her spot to somebody since she's not there. So I guess it is
Mm-hmm.
who will want to take it, will take it and grab it by the scruff of the neck. Um, I think Ackera will take it, in my estimation. I don't normally predict times. I predict positions. So I think
Mm-hmm.
Ackera Nugent and there's a toss up between Megan and Hill. I'm not seeing anybody. Well, there's Amoy Brown who has not been doing badly throughout this season.
And Yannick hasn't been doing bad as well, but
Y-
I've been
y-
waiting for Yannick to have a breakthrough, to be honest. Because again, I'm assuming she's from Manchester. I know she went to Homewood, so I'm assuming
mhm.
she's from Manchester.
I think
So
a
I
Spanish
always
one
have
should
my
come
eyes
from.
on people. Where's from?
I think a Spanish one should come from.
All right, she did go to one school in Manchester, so may have my eyes on her same way.
But you're right about Yannick. I think it's the first time the last track meet she ran sub 13 for the first time. Think being a senior athlete.
I've been waiting for this breakthrough,
S-
waiting for it.
but,
Because she has been somebody that has been really good from high school as well. Didn't
mm-hmm.
she run with Amoy Brown? Now that I'm thinking about it, were they
um
both in high school at the same time?
no, I think she
I'm
was
trying to
above
remember back to
Amoy.
the
I
champs
think
days.
no, I think she was above Amoy. I think, yeah, if my memory serves me right. Yannick
Am I
was
way
with
to Ver?
yes. Amoy. I know Yannick,
Ah,
Peter
it's
Gay
Peter Gay I'm
Williams.
mixing her up with. It's Peter Gay. Oh yes,
Yeah.
right. I remember now. Yeah, it's Peter Gay. I was remembering the gold and and Green, but I just didn't remember who it was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
Peter
St.
Gay.
Jago, Peter
Sorry
Gay
about that.
Williams.
Yeah. So I've been waiting for her. I've been waiting for her, waiting for that breakthrough. She has a I don't know how to, but obviously the technicalities of the hurdles, I don't really know how to explain it, but there's this thing with her lead leg I've never really liked. Um, and that's the same lead leg, I'm assuming, where she's always having the injury, how she whips it around. She whips it around like she's lashing it, and it's like that whip is maybe causing issues with the knee, because I'm sure that's the same knee that has caused her to go down multiple times with injuries. So I've never really liked that particular part of her racing, and I've always thought whoever is coaching her needs to fix that issue, because that's clearly what's causing the issue to reoccur, in my opinion. Obviously, limited as it is. But yeah, I've been waiting for her. I just think right now, um, Akira has separated herself. Danielle has separated herself. Even though Danielle's time right now stands at 12:56,
Yeah.
that run that she did with Kenny Harrison. Kenny Harrison's ranked number 2 right now in the world. That run that she did with Kenny Harrison and Alicia Johnson, where she placed third. And I'm sure she was leading the race part of the way, as far as I'm concerned, before she lost it right towards the end. That race to me says a lot, because if I was supposed to say switch out Daniel, sorry, and put Megan in that slot, I don't think I would get the same performance or finish in the same place in terms of how close she was to the leading pack. So I definitely think those two have separated themselves. Everybody else is in one little bunch, fighting for that last spot, in my opinion. And whoever gets it at the end of the day gets it. Yeah, but I just think two people so far have really separated themselves.
Yeah, man, and yeah, it goes without saying. I think that if Kerika Hill was not hurt, she would have been right up there as well. Um, but of course, it's an obstacle event, so
Yeah.
anything is possible. It's about getting everything to the T. It's about the rhythm. It's a rhythmic event. So you have it's a whole lot of concentration right throughout that 100-meter run, because you're running 100 meters and you have hurdles or barriers to clear. So
Mhm.
it's who hold their nerves. It's about the concentration level. You have to be like the horse. They put on the thing there,
The
and you have to
blinders, yeah.
focus lane, the end of your lane. Yeah, it I think that has to be taken into consideration as well. It's not about the technicalities, it's not about the speed, it's about the mental aspect of it. To really,
Mhm.
even if you hit a hurdle, how are you going to maneuver after that? How are you going to get it right after that? So all of these variables have
Like how
to be
you
taken into
mentioned that hitting the
consideration.
hurdle, and of course the focus. I remember watching Akira in her NCAA finals. The focus that she had, I thought it was the most deadly thing I've ever seen. I don't think I've ever seen somebody line up on the track at a start line and look the way she looked. And even in hitting that last hurdle, to me, I still have her execution of that race. I gave it a 100%. I didn't see any issues. Yes, she hit that last hurdle, but honestly, it's like she didn't even hit it. She was so focused in that race and executing her race. It was, as you said, once you have that, you're mentally zoned in to executing your race, even if you hit a hurdle, you'll still do what you have to do.
All right, definitely. So let's segue in right into the men's. Can I say equivalent? No, it can't be equivalent because it's
Yeah,
110.
110.
So let's move over to
Plus
the
the
men.
height.
All right. So on the men's side, 110-meter hurdles. This one is going to be a cracker as well. You have a Philip Lemonius NCAA champion. You have Commonwealth champion in Rasheed Broadbell. You have Olympic champion in Hansa Parchment. You have the likes of Orlando Bennett, Tyler Mason, Damian Thomas, and others who might be on the fringe. It is clear to me that Parchment and Broadbell are the leaders of this one. It goes without saying. Um, I think the last time they came 1-2, I think Parchment, the senior of the two, he went ahead and won the national championship. With a good run from Broadbell. I think Parchment is very clinical, very technical. He knows when to show up. I think his camp over the years have done a tremendous job with him in taking him through. It was quite unfortunate last year. I think he would have beaten Grant Holloway in that one. It didn't
Mm-hmm.
happen because of what we know happened at the
Was it?
when he was taking the run up. I mean, listen, man, I was devastated. But it is what it is. I think he would have brushed that off. He would have had a slow start to his season, but running into a few diamond leagues, you see where he has been picking up, and he has shed times basically, and it's all good for him coming into this season. Broadbell, who is the leading Jamaican, I believe, he's just an awesome talent. Broadbell, I think he has a very faster 100 meters than Parchment, but the technicality of Parchment will be an added advantage for Parchment. But gradually, I've seen where Broadbell has cleaned up his race a little bit. He's still sluggish out of the blocks. Um, and then you see that top end speed chipping mid race. I've seen he done it a few times with Grant Holloway and run past him. I don't like it because it's an obstacle race. You really can't. What I've said, and I've heard this over the years from other coaches, is that the aim when we're training the athletes for the hurdles, the aim is to win that first hurdle. When you win the first hurdle, half of the job has been done. Why? Persons who are chasing you, they have to clear a hurdle. You are ahead of them. So it's gonna be more pressure on them to try and catch you. He has done it a few times with Grant because Grant, I think, always fade in his latter part of race. However, I do believe that um Broadbell has improved in his technicality of the race. I do see him putting up a better fight against a Parchment. He's, like I said earlier, is the faster of the two. So obviously, if he gets that start that he desires, it's gonna be difficult for Parchment to beat him. So with that said, those two are basically the two lead persons in this event, and you can't go around that. You have a Limonius. I don't know if he's consistent enough. Um, I don't know if he's consistent enough to get that third spot. I mean, he's a champion. Let's see what he's made of in terms of his metal. I don't see him as a clean hurdler either. Technically, I don't see him as a clean hurdler, but he basically can do what he can do to make that team. Orlando Bennett is a real threat as well. Damian Thomas, he has been having a topsy turvy type of season. Um, the new kid on the, well, not the new kid on the block, a resurge in his career in a Tyler Mason. He ran very fast at the Racers Grand Prix, albeit the wind reading was a little bit over the allowable, but that is a good gauge for him as well because it wasn't too far. He's at the elite camp again, and they have been doing great things. So it's gonna be a battle royal for persons to get in this team. I think after Parchment and Broadbell, it might be a blanket finish for that third spot. And that goes about based off execution from some of these athletes. 'Cause you know the pressure of the hurdles. Persons hitting a hurdle because you have to be hustling and running fast. And sometimes persons start to race rather than maintaining their technique. And that sometimes is the issue. I would not want to see, or would not like to see that. I definitely like to see athletes just running and executing their technique. Because of course the coaches will always tell you, trust the technique, trust the technique. You know what I mean? So that is my pick. Broadbell and Parchment as top two, whichever way it can go. For the third spot, it's up for grabs. And it might be a blanket for them.
All right. So I think I can agree with you in terms of picking two spots. I only picked two myself, and I left one spot open. Left it open because yes, the field is really, really good this year. I remember the first time I saw Broadbell as a senior. I think that was right around. No, I think we started our channel after that. But anyway, yeah, I remember just thinking to myself, world record. That was my first thought. This guy, once he cleans up his technique, he can definitely break the world record. My thought process has not changed. Yes, I agree with you. I do not like the running back thing. I don't like it in any event, running back, because you may never get back, depending on the gap some other athletes will put on you in the field. And Grant Holloway is one of those athletes that you never know when he can get it right. You don't even know if he's going to be fixing that endurance issue that he has towards the end of the race, where he just looks like he just loses everything he has, everything that he's been given in the race up to that point. So yeah, I don't like the whole run back thing. So he definitely has to work from that. He's been getting better technically over the hurdles, so I really do appreciate that. But with all that said, with all the issues that I see, which is why I'm thinking world record, because to me when I look at him, he looks so rough around the edges when it comes to the hurdles, that if he should ever clean that up, I don't even know what he would run, because he's run so fast already, with all of these issues. What's going to happen when it's cleaned up? And as I said, when I see him, all I think is world record. It's just a matter of time. Um, Hands of Parchment. I agree with you as well. He's one of those type of hurdles where his team works clearly with him, and they know exactly how to gauge the season and get him ready to the right time. Um he's run only 3 races this season. He started out a bit slow. I remember in his first race the commentators were like, "Oh, they were shocked. This is the Olympic champion. Why does he look like that? Blah blah blah." I'm like, "This is his first race. Like, what were you expecting to see from his first race, kind of thing, in the beginning of the season?" Then in 3 short races, he was down. I mean, 2 additional short races after that, he was down to 12 twos. I looked at him and I said, when I saw that race behind Rasheed Broadbell, I said, "Look here, Rasheed better not sleep on Hansel. He better not sleep on Hansel, because Hansel, whilst he also had a bad start issue, from way back, he's been working on that. So he actually ends up now having a better start than Rasheed, right? So I say the biggest dark horse in that 1-2 that I've already selected is Hands of Parchment, because in my opinion, Hands of Parchment looks like he will win. He has a way of sneaking out that win. And he's just pristine when he gets it right, and he's unstoppable. So I've selected them as 1-2, but I'm leaning more towards Hansel for the win, because I just know he creeps up on you, kind of thing, and snatches it. So yeah, but two very talented people. Jamaica's hurdles looks good when it comes to going to the World Championships this year. I'm excited. Can't wait to destroy some people. As it relates to the final spot now, that's where it gets a bit tricky. You spoke about, Orlando Bennett and Damon Thomas. They have to get their times done for me, tremendously, to contend for a spot on the team. I'm expecting everybody to be below 13-1. I expect top three to be below 13-1. So to get below 13-1, the times have to be dropped significantly. Philip Lemonius, I've always been surprised that he's at Arkansas and he's not better technically over the hurdles. That is something that I've always wondered to myself. Why is he so bad technically over the hurdles? He for sure has to clean that up if he hopes to challenge for a spot on the team. I don't remember if it was last year or the year before he went to the trials. I think it was last year, and he had a good shot in of making the team again. But again, technically, he messed up, was not able to be a part of the team. So he for sure has to work on that as well. Who am I looking at though to take that third spot? Honestly, Ronald Levy, he's coming back from an injury. He's experienced. So I'm thinking that the third spot could be between him, right? Whilst his time isn't necessarily in the 12 twos yet, 13 twos, sorry, yet, I believe that, he can definitely drop his time down to get close to that sub 13 that I'm looking to see at trials. Now, the other person as well that I'm looking to see, haven't really seen anything from him this season, but I hear that he's coming with something, is Omar McLeod. I have not given up on him as well. I remember in our dark, days in 2017 when everything just looked like it was going wrong. Jamaica's whole team was turned on its head. Omar stood tall in that moment, and brought us home a gold medal with all of the stresses around him. Every house did a tumble down. So, you know what? I know whatever the mental block is, that is bothering him, he can overcome it. If his season is what they've been hyping it up to be, I'm expecting him to show up on the line as well, and expecting him to be, the national record holder that he is when he ends up, on that line. So I'm expecting something, good from him as well. The other person now that I'm looking for is what's his name? The one that had the resurgence, right? Tyler Mason. That's the other athlete that I'm looking for. So I have three people that I'm looking to see in that third spot. Tyler Mason, a resurgence in his career over the hurdles, as you've said. Racers Grand Prix, a really, really epic race. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Just above the allowable, but still it was enough for us to see the possibilities from him this season. So I'm expecting him to come out and go for that third spot as well. So for me, top three is between, and yeah, we have a whole bunch of other people that are doing well. Actually, we have, let's see, close to, we have 20 odd people, say 22 people that are sub 14 this year. And a better part of it, they're running like 13.5. So that's pretty good running from our athletes. Dejo Russells and the Brighton seniors and LaFrance Campbell. There's so many athletes right now in the 110-meter hurdles. It's a good look. But I believe that seniority in terms of experience will play a part in who makes the team this season. So let's see. I have a solid two. That is Broadbell and Hansel. Then another three for the final spot. Who takes it? I'm not sure, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, man. Well said. Yeah. So the third spot is basically up for grabs. It's a toss up. Basically, who wants it more will take it. Is there any chance for an upset in either of these events?
Upset in the top two for the men? No.
For what about the
No,
women?
yes. Yes, yes, yes. Let's say an Omar that has already dipped below 12, below
Mm-hmm.
13 already, arrives in that PB shape, then sure. But I
Mm-hmm.
don't consider that an upset because that's three guys
You'd have
running
been
sub
there and
sub
done that,
13.
right?
You're right, that's three guys. So I wouldn't necessarily call it an upset per se. If he comes back and runs something close to his PB. Same thing for Run and Levy. If they come back and they run something good, then I'm not really surprised about those runs. If it's outside now, the only person that may do that is Tyler Mason. May. But again, yeah, that's the only person I would say. And that's if he lands the third spot. So if he lands the third spot and Omar is also there and he's good and Levy's there and he's also good, then that would be an upset.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay.
otherwise, no, I'm not really seeing it. For the women, would it be considered an upset for Megan to make the team? No.
No, no, I wouldn't see that as
No.
an upset.
Would it be considered upset for Karika to make the team? No.
No.
It's just who's gonna take it on the day.
Yeah.
Somebody has to win, somebody has to lose out, and that's just the nature of the game. Somebody has to be falling. People have to fall in those top three spots. Yeah. So I don't necessarily see an upset happening on the female side as well. I see four solid females right now. It's just that four can't go into three. So yeah.
All right. So we have come to the end of this awesome um conversation about these awesome athletes with two awesome people. You know what I mean? So big up yourself, T. People, please remember to go over to TXT Track Time, subscribe to that channel, follow her channel, like the videos, and you can also share the videos. You have been a good audience. We appreciate you. Stay safe. Until next time, peace out.
Your style and your flavor make the city rock. They must say the season come out with a bang. Coach Minzy, best round here. Remember that.